The US House Judiciary Committee recently obtained damning documentary evidence that a member of the Biden administration pressured Amazon executives to censor books that were critical of the COVID vaccines. This is yet another example of attempts by the Biden administration to suppress information that is not to their liking or is not convenient for them or that undermines their preferred narrative. This intervention, in my opinion, was unconstitutional and violated the First Amendment rights of American citizens. And I believe that it will be found to be unconstitutional after the Missouri versus Biden case makes its way all the way to the US Supreme Court, which is due to hear oral arguments over the next few months. The attempt by the US government to leverage its influence over big tech companies, social media companies, booksellers, to be able to protect its own preferred narrative is deeply disturbing. And it's actually echoed in the European Union with the Commission's Digital Services Act, which allows the European Commission to exert pressure over social media companies to censor what they deem misinformation, disinformation, hate speech, etc. One of the pillars of a free society is the ability to express ourselves and our perspectives without being harassed, without being shut down, without being threatened by powerful actors. And the only way in the long run for us to preserve our freedom of speech is for citizens to rise up and make their voices heard, and for the democratic process to punish politicians who attempt to suppress freedom of speech. The courts have a role as well, of course, and I hope the US Supreme Court will find the Biden administration guilty of violating Americans' constitutional rights, specifically the rights under the First Amendment. And I hope that the European Court of Human Rights or some other court, maybe even national courts, will strike down parts of the Digital Services Act that undermine European citizens' right to freedom of expression, guaranteed by the Charter of Fundamental Rights.